Difference in airports. When you first walk into the airport, you're going to see a lot of people smoking. It's going to smell like smoke, and it's not compared to American airports where there's designated areas to smoke, there's designated people to say, okay, you can go over here to smoke. People just smoke everywhere. When you walk in there, you're going to see everybody all dressed up, and families are all together. You don't see just random restaurants everywhere. There's a designated area for the restaurants in the airports. And so basically that's pretty much what you're going to see when you first walk into the airport. Highways are super fast. The average speed minimum is 70 miles per hour. They normally go in kilometers per hour, so you're going to see people going past you in station wagons, in family vans, in big trucks that are mostly Mercedes and or BMW, going past you at maybe 130 miles per hour. Unless you get into an urban area where it's going to be a lot slower, you're going to know that the people are slowing down because they don't want the police, which are also driving Mercedes, to catch you. So basically, the major difference is that the speed, and then also on highways, the average lane size it's smaller than American lane size. There are normally 2 lanes per going this way, this direction, and going that direction. And unless you are in a highway where you're just going through like the hills and stuff, there's going to be 3 lanes. But when you're going into urban areas, it's probably going to only be 1 lane. And so transportation on the highways is pretty serious. When you're walking down the street, you're definitely going to see a lot of people just walking in business casual clothes, even at nighttime. You don't see very many people walking in shorts and a t-shirt. That's normally the Americans that live there. So you can definitely spot an American in Germany based on the type of clothes that they wear. But mainly Germans, when you walk past them, you have to say hello. It's not more like an obligation. It's more of a courtesy to say hey or wie geht's, hello, and that way you acknowledge that they're there. You don't just look. You don't look down at the ground. You don't stare in the air. You don't put your headphones in your ears to block out the whole world. You have to say hello. That way you acknowledge them and they acknowledge you. And normally they'll give you a smile back. If they don't say anything, they're going to give you a smile back. At nighttime, you'll normally see families walking down the street from their house, just going for maybe 30 minutes to an hour stroll after they had a small dinner. Dinners are normally the smallest meals. So eventually you'll see them just walking and talking and or seeing other people, mainly elderly people at nighttime, and they'll be saying, hey, hello, wie geht's again, and they'll make conversation. You make conversation with a neighbor that you've never met before. So when you're walking down the street, don't forget to say hello. When you're going shopping, you don't just, again, wear anything. You have to be dressed up. It's not dressed up in suit and tie, but mainly business casual, not sloppy pajamas or whatever. You can't just go anywhere looking a mess. You have to look like you came from a nice event. So when you're going shopping, don't expect people to not look at what you're wearing, because they do look at what you're wearing. And so it's not that they're being judgmental, they just want to, that's the way society over there has been brought up. You go someplace and you look very nice. That way you present yourself as if you are somebody, or you have money, and or you know a lot about manners and things. When you're going shopping for groceries, it's an everyday thing. Germans always like to get fresh produce, fresh bread, fresh vegetables. They go there and they get it every day. They get their fresh bread all the time, and they normally go before breakfast time, which is it's really early in the morning, but they know that bakeries will be open because they want their coffee and they want their brochen with just butter, and they don't really have cream cheese, so it's normally butter and coffee and the croissant that they have for breakfast and or orange juice. And then when you're going to restaurants at nighttime, you won't find many corporate restaurants. You'll find mainly home-owned restaurants with different types of flavors. So you can normally find your favorite restaurant, not your favorite type of restaurant, because they normally are family-owned and they've been passed down from generation to generation. And they have their own type of style to the environment within the restaurant also. They look very different from ours, where there's a certain theme every season. Theirs is normally as if they were decorating their own house. They'll decorate their restaurant accordingly, not just to the season, but to how the society's going most of the time. And it's normally nice, and there's a nice upkeep. And when you go in there, when you look at the menu, you're not going to see very many hot dogs and french fries and hamburgers, so you're not going to find that. You're going to find maybe schnitzel, which is a type of pork that has been flattened and then it's been fried. Or you're going to find pommes frites, which are a different type of french fries, but they're really good. And then you find croquettes. Croquettes are similar to our tater tots, but they're mashed potatoes inside like a fried thing, and then they'll serve that with your vegetables and your type of meat if you wanted meat. And when you're going to a restaurant, you look at the prices, and then you're going to be like, wow, these prices are pretty amazing, along with the food that you have. Because in America, you'll go to a 5-star restaurant and pay $50 for something upscale in which you had to make a reservation 3 months in advance. Over there, you walk in there after a long day's work with your family, and you go in there and you guys have a good time, you enjoy the food for a great price. It's really good over there. School is an all year round thing. When you go to school from August all the way to July. But the best part about it is you get vacation, but vacation is not like an American vacation where you go from May all the way to beginning of August. Over there, you have from July to mid-August, then you have December time frame where you go from a little bit in the mid-December to mid-January. Then you also have vacation during March from mid-March to mid-April. So really, it's a year-round thing, but then there is year-round vacation, which is a positive. I mean, you're constantly being drilled with your education. You're not going to forget it within those 3 weeks. You're going to have homework, and then at the same time, you're always going to be, your brain's always going to keep on going. It's always going to keep on moving with the type of education system in which they have. Another type of thing about the education is that 4th grade is the major determining factor in which whether you're going to go to college, whether you're going to go into the workforce, or whether you're going to go into a trade school